Chapter 3. Water splashed, dishes clinked, and Pamela kept the quick pace of Geoffrey handing over the dishes to dry. It was Monday afternoon, and so Pamela volunteered to help with the dishes to be on time for their postal disorder prevention team meeting. After the two finished cleaning up, they headed towards the back door. Pamela bounced in place, with a hand to the door. Then, they headed for the VFW. As they entered the building...
"Halt, soldier. Remember, this is a stealth mission. Keep your eyes open and follow my lead,"
Geoffrey said.
"Sir, yes, sir,"
Pamela said, and saluted. She scouted the room through the peeping hole in the door.
"All clear."
The door creaked open.
"Hello?"
"Must be Sean,"
Pamela thought.
"I guess I'm the first one here."
A chair scraped the floor, and Sean's feet nearly hit Geoffrey's nose. "Is anyone here?" Lauren said. Geoffrey and Pamela jumped out from under the table and shouted, causing Lauren to jump back and spill the papers she'd been carrying. Sean rushed to help her with the papers.
"Was that entirely necessary?"
Geoffrey and Pamela chuckled to themselves. "Let's get to business now that we're all here," Lauren said. They all sat down.
"So we know the situation. Now we've got to pin down some objectives,"
Geoffrey said. "I can keep tabs on all the delivery men to help us narrow it down," Lauren said.
"And I'll keep an ear out for any new mix-ups from the customers of Waffle House,"
Sean said.
"Geoffrey and I can try and narrow down suspects after school,"
Pamela said. As they worked out the details, their goal was to find any evidence of which one of the 4 delivery men, if any, was guilty. They agreed to investigate during the week and meet the next Friday. Work just wasn't as boring anymore. Lauren had a purpose. Dull and tedious work was not dull and tedious when you were searching for clues to solve a mystery. It was certainly a nice change for Lauren. All mail and their destinations were examined closely, and today Lauren observed each delivery worker in turn. She had never thought that quieter workers would like to cause trouble, but maybe they had a lack of commitment that would make it easy for someone to persuade them to cause trouble. Who knew? This whole business could amount to something much larger. Lauren returned her focus to her surroundings. Screens and papers came back into focus. She remembered what she'd been about to say. She pressed the button to turn on the intercom. "Bill, did you deliver the stacks of newspapers yet?"
"Yup. Finished them 5 minutes ago. Should I take the first load of packages?"
"Yes, thank you." Bill generally finished on time, but this seemed a bit early. Too early? Lauren pulled out her phone and messaged the PDPT group. "Packages incoming nearby, Geoffrey. Bill's delivering. Houston is still out with letters on the other side of town." After reading Geoffrey's confirmation to scan the area and stalk the postman under some kind of cover, she went back to scanning through the lists of the mail in the office's inventory. Figuring out how to coordinate the arrival of the mail with the free times of Pamela, Geoffrey, and Sean was a balancing act, but it was a good challenge. Besides, she was doing this to help people. That was the main reason why she had wanted to get a new job in the first place. Yes, Lauren had wanted a change of pace, but really she had wanted to feel like she was making a difference. Now that she was, the thought of finding a new job seemed unimportant compared to what was at hand. Waffles, waffles, and more waffles. Sean glanced at the clock as he carried a tray full of warm food toward table 17. The woman at the table was frowning, slouching over and staring out the window with a dejected look.
"And here's your triple waffle special,"
Sean said. "Thanks," the woman said, looking a little more hopeful. "Did you—"
"Extra whipped cream, as you said."
She took a fork and started poking at the waffles. Sean hesitated a moment.
"Having some trouble recently?"
"Well, I've been waiting for my friend's wedding invite for a week." She stared out the window again. What if she forgot me? He raised his eyebrows.
"Does that invite have to do with mail, by any chance?"
"She's very traditional," the woman said, suddenly in her own world. "I was really looking forward to the pretty lace she always puts around the outside."
"Well, I hope these waffles will brighten your day.
Sean said, and made his way back to the kitchen. It was 30 minutes till his shift was over, but he was willing to wait. Just as he was walking back into the kitchen, a conversation on the news caught his attention.
Delayed deliveries have been reported by the local stores, including the pharmacy, supermarket, and City Hall. What might be even more concerning, however, is our city's silence on the issue. This recent election, in the words of our mayor, Mr. Higginsbird himself, stated how it was, and I quote, in his best interest to run this town with maximum efficiency. Now is the opportune time for him to prove this statement true. It is still incredibly troubling that our mayor has remained silent in this time. Fortunately, on a brighter note, former candidate Mr. Gerald Jones has expressed a goal to fix this issue, even if it means contacting an investigation outside of the city.
The man on the small TV in the corner of the diner flashed a grin, and Sean stared at it in intrigue. Who was this news reporter to talk so negatively of their mayor? Just as he was about to make a mental note to tell the team about his discoveries, an old man in the booth next to him tugged on his apron.
Hey, I said I wanted more sugar packets.
The man grouched. Sean turned to the man, a sheepish smile on his face.
Forgive me, sir. I'll get that right away.
30 minutes later, Sean was stuffing his apron into his backpack when he heard the rumble of an engine nearby. The sky was darkening in a sunset, and just across the street he saw a delivery truck. The mailman yawned as he took a letter from a mailbox, then returned to his truck. Sean narrowed his eyes. He hadn't put down the little red flag.
Excuse me?
Sean said, cautiously crossing the street.
Sir, you haven't...
The delivery truck rumbled and started edging forward. The guy in the driver's seat stared off, as if he hadn't heard.
Sir!
The truck was still moving forward. Sean was determined to get the man's attention, and he started waving his arms.
Houston, we have a problem.
The truck stopped, and the man rolled down his window with a furrowed brow. How do you know my name?
Oh,
Sean said with a chuckle.
I don't think I've ever met a Houston.
He held out his hand.
I'm Sean.
Confused, the man stuck his hand out of the window and shook it.
I just thought I would mention, you forgot to put down the flag on that mailbox.
Sean said. Okay, Houston said with a shrug.
Are you not concerned that whoever put that letter in the mailbox, hoping for it to be sent, would only understand it had been taken if they checked? I do believe it's an integral part of the job of a mailman to preserve that accountability between you and the members of the town you serve.
Houston stared at him.
To make it easier for you, I'll lend a hand, but I'd advise a personal goal of self-awareness the next time you find yourself in this sort of situation.
The mailman drove off before Sean could say any more. He found himself staring after the truck, wondering if Houston might be one of the delivery guys they needed to add to their list of suspects.